Welcome to The Explainer. So let's talk about AI. It seems like every company out there is pouring money into it. But here's the thing. Why are so many of them struggling to see any real results?
And when I say every company, I'm not really exaggerating. Just look at this number. According to McKinsey, a whopping 88% of organizations are already experimenting with AI. It's not some future tech anymore. It's everywhere.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the kicker. The same research shows that 81% of those companies aren't seeing any meaningful impact on their bottom line. Let that sink in for a second. All that time, all that money, for pretty much nothing to show for it financially. So, what is going on here? That's the big question we're digging into today. If everybody's doing it, why isn't it working for most of them? What's the secret sauce that the successful few have figured out?
Well, it turns out it's usually not one big thing that goes wrong. It's more like a series of common, totally predictable traps that even the smartest companies fall into. Let's call them the common failure modes.
Okay, pitfall number 1. I bet you've seen this one before. It's called forever brainstorming. This is where teams just get stuck in an endless cycle of meetings, coming up with all these cool futuristic ideas for AI, but none of them ever actually get built or tested in the real world. It's all talk and no action.
All right, so let's say an idea does escape the brainstorming black hole. What happens next? Often, it lands right in pilot purgatory. You know the drill. A small team builds a cool little pilot, and hey, it actually works, but it's completely disconnected from everything else. There's no plan to scale it up, so it just dies on the vine. It becomes a neat science fair project, but that's it.
And then there's the big one, pitfall number 3, the digital mindset trap. This is where a company goes all in, spending millions of dollars and maybe a year or more building some giant, complex all-in-one AI platform, only to realize it doesn't actually solve a real business problem. And guess what? Nobody ends up using it.
You know, these traps, the brainstorming, the pilots, they're really just symptoms of deeper problems. And if you look at the data on the biggest barriers, it's fascinating. The top hurdles aren't technical at all. People are worried about the AI itself, things like bias or jobs. Then right behind that are legal and ethical concerns. And then you have the classic organizational roadblocks, like just getting people to change how they work.
So if you pull back and look at the big picture, there's one common thread tying all these failures together. It's a really simple but fundamental mistake. Companies are putting the technology first before the people and the processes that the tech is supposed to help.
Okay, so that's the problem. But don't worry, there's a solution. The winning playbook is all about flipping that script. It starts by putting people first, not the tech. Let's dive into what that human-centric strategy actually looks like. And this quote from Bettina Dietrich at Alliance just nails it. She says, the biggest game changer is to connect technology with our people, mindsets, and culture. That's it right there. The breakthrough isn't the algorithm, it's connecting the tech to how your people actually think and work.
And this whole people first thing, it has to start at the very top. I mean, look at this data from LEK Consulting. It's super clear. In companies that are winning with AI, the CEO is deeply involved way more often, 67% of the time. And for the CFO, the difference is even bigger. So this isn't some side project. Top-level leadership is absolutely non-negotiable.
But, you know, having the CEO on board isn't the whole story. You have to connect that high-level vision to what's happening on the ground. And the key to doing that is to create a network of what one firm calls AI champions. And no, these aren't just the tech geeks in the office, they're way more important than that.
So what is an AI champion? Think of them as translators. They're not coders, they're experts in their own fields. Finance, marketing, you name it. Their mission is to make AI understandable for their own teams, to cut through the hype, to make sure the outputs are actually good, and to share what works. They are the essential human link that makes AI real for everyone else.
Okay, that sounds great, right? But how do you actually build this army of champions? How do you create a system that avoids all those traps we talked about and gets you from just an idea to real-world impact? Well, it turns out there's a blueprint for that.
And here it is, a 5-step plan designed to get you results fast. First, you start small. Lay down some light, flexible tech foundations. No giant, year-long projects. Step 2, invest in your people. Give those champions really specific, hands-on training for their actual jobs, not some generic AI 101 class. Then they can go find useful problems to solve and quickly build prototypes. Once you have something that works, then you plug it into your main systems. And finally, you scale it up with automation.
See how that works? The whole point is to create this awesome self-funding cycle.
Every small win proves the value, which makes it easy to get support for the next project. It builds momentum. And that's how you flip AI from being this expensive headache into something that actually makes you money.
And the results of doing it this way? They are absolutely night and day. Gartner found that in companies that are really good at this, AI projects stick around in production more than twice as often. But check out the trust factor. Their business teams are 4 times more likely to actually trust and use the new AI tools. That's not a small difference, that's a total game changer.
So, in the end, it all boils down to one simple but really powerful question that every leader should be asking themselves. This is the question that separates the winners from the losers in AI. It's not about if you're going to use AI, it's about how. So ask yourself, is your organization just building more technology, or are you actually building a whole new way of working?